Okay, so let's look at the low frequency response. Till now what we have seen is mid-band region. Okay, where we were calculating the gain, which was the constant gain, sometimes inverting and sometimes non-inverting, sometimes emitter follower, means gain is equal to 1. Now we will focus on the low frequency region. Okay, low frequency means this region. If you remember the curve of the initial curve what I have shown, frequency response curve as general. So this point we will be focusing on now, the circled part, where this is the FL and this is the midband gain, and at FL you will have midband gain divided by root 2 or 3 dB down gain. Okay, this is dB mod A and this is frequency, and this region will be ALF. A gain, LF means low frequency. So this will be dependent upon the value of frequency. This will be dependent upon the value of frequency. So this, if it will go in the left direction, if you will go in the left direction, the more the frequency will decrease and the gain will decrease as well. Okay, so in low frequency region your amplifier will behave as high pass filter. You can see it is passing high frequency and it is rejecting low frequencies. Okay, so as if it is working as a high pass filter. High pass filter, you can imagine a simple VIS V naught S 1 by CS R. This is the Laplace transform of capacitor. So if you will calculate V naught by Vi, that is AS, that will be R divided by R plus 1 by CS, simple voltage division. Okay, or you can write it as S divided by S plus 1 by RC. This 1 by RC is the pole, or you will call it as a cutoff frequency in radians per second. You can write in hertz 1 by 2 pi RC. Okay, this concept will apply here as well. Okay, if you look at the response of this curve, this will look exactly similar to this. Okay, so here you can see A of j omega is increasing. For omega equal to 0 it is 0, for omega equal to infinite it is 1, so magnitude is 1, and at omega equal to 1 by RC it is magnitude is 1 by root 2. Okay, which is 3 dB down from 1, or 1 by root 2. So 1 is the maximum gain, and 3 dB down to 1 gain is 1 by root 2. Okay, so which we are getting at omega equal to 1 by RC. Now you can write this here. You can see the gain is written A of j omega is 1 by 1 plus 1 by j omega RC, or magnitude is 1 by under root 1 plus 1 by omega RC whole square. Okay, so what is the similarity between these two? The curve exactly looks similar, only the magnitude is different. Here it is A mid, here it is 1. Remember, this is a constant quantity. Okay, constant. If you remember, you have this part is the A mid, so constant, it is constant with respect to frequency. Okay, so if you will put give an input to the uh, mid-band region amplifier, some 10 volt, then you will get 100 volt at the output. It is not dependent upon frequency. Okay, so overall what you can conclude is by looking at this, your AFL LF S will be A of S into A midband. Okay, so that it will be down from A mid. Okay, so this will be 1 divided by 1 plus 1 by omega RC whole square under root into A mid. Okay, this is magnitude of ALF. Okay, or you can write it without magnitude, will be, this is magnitude as well, A midband divided by 1 plus 1 divided by omega RC J. 1 by RC you can replace it with omega C, or in this case we will call it as omega L. Okay, so it is dependent upon omega, or you can write it in frequency. ALF is equal frequency in hertz. So A, this is j omega. Okay, then this is ALF of F is equal to A mid divided by 1 minus this j term I am keeping in the numerator. That's why minus is coming. Minus minus will so you are multiplying and divide with j in the numerator and denominator. So here you can say like this, j upon j. So j square will become minus and j will be here. Okay, so that is how I have changed this, and this will be omega L divided by omega, or the same thing you can write it as sorry, this is with respect to f, so 2 pi fl divided by f. Okay, so this is the expression for low frequency gain. So it is dependent upon this f, and fl will be constant. Fl will be equal to 1 by 2 pi rc. We will calculate how to see that c and r, and how to calculate fl in our transistor case. But this will be the low frequency response of our transistor amplifier in low frequency region, in this region. This value is this. Okay, and this a mid is this guy, which is a constant, and 1 minus j fl divided by f. Fl is also a constant that we will see how to calculate, and f is the frequency at which you want a gain. So some f value here, you will get a corresponding gain. Okay, so the lesser the value of f is, the lesser will be the gain ALF. Okay, a mid is constant. So that is how you can imagine the low frequency response. Now we will see how to calculate FL. Okay. Okay, so now let's look at how to calculate the value of FL. Okay, how to calculate FL. Let's see, we have a circuit like this, a common emitter with the configuration, and I have not taken the value. Now the general rule I will say to calculate FL is, you see the procedure. Okay, don't remember the expression, don't remember the circuit. The approach how I calculate FL is same, will always be same. Okay, so let's say that you have this circuit RS, R1, R2, RC, RL, RE, CB, CC2, CC1. These are coupling capacitors, and this is bypass capacitor. For with respect to each capacitor, we will have FL. So FL1 will be corresponding to CC1, FL2 will be corresponding to CC2, FL3 will be corresponding to CB. And out of these three, we will choose the best one. If there will be more capacitor in the circuit, we have to calculate the FL with respect to that capacitor as well. Okay, but mostly you will see 3 only. So first we will calculate with respect to CC1. So FL1 will be the same expression, 1 divided by 2 pi RTH CC1. CC1 value will be given to you. RTH you have to calculate looking from this capacitor. So if you will look from this capacitor, this is how the circuit will look like, and the voltage sources and the voltage sources will be replaced by its internal resistances. So this will be short. Okay, so remember we are calculating Thevenin resistance. Okay, looking from the capacitor. This is how the circuit will look like, AC equivalent. So the VS is short, then there is a RS. This will be ground, VCC will be ground. So R1 and R2 will be in parallel. Then this will be the transistor beta RE, and beta IB is the current, and the rest of the capacitor will be short. Okay, apart from this one, because we are calculating with respect to CC1, so rest of them will be short. So this short will short the RE, and this short will be this guy, and RC will be parallel to RN, and this is V0. Okay, so we have to look from here. The capacitor was connected here. This is the parallel combination of R1 R2. Since VS is 0, this VS is 0, there won't be any current IB, and that's the reason this beta IB will be open, because IB is 0. So they will act as open circuit. So I can remove. This is how the circuit will become. So if you will look from here, you have two resistances in parallel in series with RS. So RTH will be RS plus, because it's in series, R1 parallel R2 parallel beta small r. Okay, small ra is Vt by Ic, if you remember. Okay, so this will be the RTH of this circuit corresponding to this CC1, and if you will plug this value, RTH value here, you will get FL1. Okay, so you don't have to memorize this, you don't have to memorize this, you don't have to memorize this. Just remember this, you have to memorize that all the FLs will have this value 1 by 2 pi RC. The RTH depends upon which capacitor you are looking from. Okay, that is how you have to calculate FL. Now this is FL1. Now we will go for this guy. Same procedure we will do for CC2 as well. We will write CC2 here, and we will look Thevenin resistance looking from this capacitor. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so now let's do the same thing with CC2. So now here it is CC2 FL2. Now we have to look Thevenin resistance with respect to this, from looking from here CC2. So this is the equivalent circuit. Vs is shorted, Rs is as it is, capacitor is short, this capacitor is short. Okay, so here it is short, then R1 parallel R2, R1 parallel R2, this will be ground, so this point and ground will be parallel. Then comes the transistor, beta Re, beta Eb, then this guy is shorted, so that's the reason it is short, and CC2 is here, RC is before capacitor and RL is after capacitor. Okay, so here, from here you have to look. You can also consider the output resistance of the transistor, that is small RO, which will be connected between this point and this point. Since this point is connected to ground, so ultimately R0 will be connected between this point and this point, which is same as RC is connected between this point and this point. So you can take it as R0 parallel RC. This is the output resistance of transistor, if you have to take it. And this side you have RL, from here you have to see RTH. Now this guy will be again 0, because Vs is 0, so IV will be 0, hence beta IP will be 0, which means it will act as a open. Okay, so there won't be path connected to this side. So from here if you will calculate RTH, so RTH will be R0 parallel RC plus these two are in parallel, then series RL. So this will be the Thevenin resistance, or if you look from with respect to CC2. If you will plug here, you will plug the value of CC2, you will get FL2. Now only thing remaining is this CB. Now we have to look with respect to this guy. We have to calculate RTH with respect to this guy. So third will be that. Okay, so now let's calculate the remaining guy, which is CB. So with respect to CB, you have to calculate FL3. FL3 is 1 divided by 2 pi RTH CB. So now we have to calculate RTH looking from this side. So this is the equivalent circuit will be made, and since the expression of RTH will not be straightforward, so I am using VDC and IDC approach. So I have kept a VDC voltage across this RE, replace the CB with VDC, and ID is the current flowing from VDC. Here these resistances are in parallel, so you can see R1 is connected between this point to ground, R2 is connected between this point to ground, and RS is connected between this point to ground. This is ground, this is short, and this is short. Okay, this is short Vs, and this is short because we are calculating with respect to CB. That's the reason they all are in parallel. Beta Re and beta IB are transistors equivalent, then R is as it is, RL parallel RC is here because this is short. So now if you will write VDC will be equal to IDC, the drop across this due to IDC, and the drop across this due to 1 plus beta IB. Beta IB is current coming from here, IB is current coming from here. So 1 plus beta IB into RE will be the drop across this due to these two currents, and due to IDC this will be the drop RE IDC. So total that will be VDC. Okay, so this is the drop across this. Now if I know the value of IB in terms of IDC or VDC, I will be able to calculate VDC divided by IDC, that is RTH. So here if you will apply KVL with this branch, you can see, so you will get drop across this RS parallel R1 parallel R2 into IB plus beta RE into IB plus VDC. Okay, that will be equal to 0. KVL I applied. So IB will be minus VDC divided by R dash. This whole thing I am considering R dash. RS parallel R1 parallel R2 plus a beta RE. This I am considering as R dash. IB value I got in terms of VDC. I'll plug here. So you will get VDC is equal to RE IDC minus RE 1 plus beta VDC divided by R dash. This whole term I'll bring on that side. So you will get VDC 1 plus RE 1 plus beta divided by R dash, that is equal to capital RE IDC. Now we have VDC IDC. So if I'll calculate VDC divided by IDC, that will be, I have written wrong expression. So here VDC divided by IDC will be capital RE divided by 1 plus RE 1 plus beta divided by R dash, that will be RTH, or you can say VDC divided by IDC. Okay, so you got this expression. So I'll remove everything. So I'll remove, since you got the expression, this is removed, this is removed, this is removed. So RTH is equal to capital RE divided by 1 plus RE 1 plus beta divided by R dash, where R dash is R1 parallel R2 parallel RS plus beta small re. Okay, this is R dash. So this is the total expression of RTH when you look from here. Okay, now why we are not able to apply Vs is equal to 0, so IB equal to 0 and beta IB equal to 0? Because you have a resistance here. Okay, previously this resistance was not there, so directly by applying KVL you were able to get the value of IB is equal to 0, hence beta IB was equal to 0. But now you have resistance value, so there will be a current flowing through this, so you can't directly put IB is equal to 0. That's the reason you have to do extra calculation. Okay, so the approach is most important, not the expression. So you saw that I've calculated FL1, FL2, FL3. Now which one to take? So FL will be, this is very important, FL will be max of FL1, FL2, FL3. Okay, so this is very important. After calculating all the FLs, you took the maximum one. And what will happen then? You can calculate the value of FL. Now once you calculate the value of FL, you have this gain. A of F is equal to A midband magnitude, if you will see, under root 1 plus 1 divided FL divided by FL divided by F whole square. So this FL will be max of FL1, FL2, and you can say how, depends upon how many capacitors you have. If you have 3 capacitors, FL3, you calculate all 3 of them, pick the maximum one and you can plug here. Then whatever frequency is asked, you can calculate the gain. This is low pass gain, low frequency gain. Okay, so that is how it works. If you want to generalize, you can say FL1 FL2 dot FLN, where N is number of capacitors. Okay, so that is how you calculate. This is a constant term. Here midband gain is also constant. This is also constant by this theory. So whatever frequency change you will apply, this is in the low frequency region, not in the high frequency region. You will get the magnitude of gain. Okay, so that is how you approach low frequency analysis. Okay, it is very tiring, I know, to calculate FL, but that is how it is. I can't do anything. And this mid-band gain, whatever you have been calculating till now, common collector, common emitter, those all things will come here. Okay, and if you have to calculate the frequency response, you have to calculate low frequency response, then you have to calculate FL, and at whatever frequency it is required, the gain, low frequency gain, you plug these two values, these two guys, and this will be given to you. You will get the magnitude of low frequency gain. Okay, so that is how you approach the problem for FLs. So low frequencies gain. So the only tiring process is calculating FL. Okay, so we will see an example so that you will get a clear picture of how we have to use